Good evening to you all. Today we're starting episode 15 of Surah Al-Anaam, and it's the final episode. The episode is titled, The Wrong Verse 154. Then we gave Moses the book, complete for the one who does good, and as a detailed explanation of everything, and as guidance and mercy, so that they might believe in the meeting with their Lord. There was another recitation of this verse, which says those who do good. So here, it actually says those who do good, exactly like that. There were people who recited it in this way. Who was it that recited it like this? Abdullah ibn Masudi. What does it mean here? God is saying, we sent down the Torah as a favor from us to Moses. We favored Moses by sending down the Torah to him. Why? Because he obeyed our commands and prohibitions, and we revealed in this book a detailed explanation of the laws that his people were supposed to follow. Who is saying this? Al-Tabari in his book Jami al-Bayan fi Tafsir al-Quran. The question here is, what is the connection between this verse and the ones before it? Because, pay attention if you remember, what was the verse before this one? He was telling them, do not kill the soul which Allah has forbidden, except by right. Do not kill your children for fear of poverty. Give full measure and weight. All of this, and now suddenly, there is an abrupt shift to talking about Moses. Who was the previous speech directed to? It was to the people of Mecca. Now it has shifted to Moses. So, what is the connection between verse 154 and the verses before it? Go back to the previous verses and see what the connection is between this and that. There is absolutely no connection. All right, let's return to the text again here. Yes, that was the verse. The first question, really, is what is the connection between this verse and what came before it? Honestly, there's another problem here as well. What's the other problem? Al-Zamakhshari discussed this issue and said that this verse is connected to the previous verse. Yeah. Number 34 from Al-Anaam, where it says, and we granted him Isaac and Jacob, each we guided, and Noah we guided before. And from his descendants, David, Solomon, Job, and Joseph. Now, pay attention. And Moses and Aaron, and thus do we reward the doers of good. So, supposedly, verse 154 that we're discussing, because whose name is mentioned in it? Moses' name is right here, as you can see. Very good. So, he's telling you, this is verse 154. This one we're on right now is actually connected to verse 34. Why? Because it says in Moses here, then it goes on to say, then we gave Moses the book. Was that the verse with the story? So, he's saying this one is connected to that one, or that one. Yeah. It's linked here between verses 70 and 144, and it's connected to 34. That was Al-Zamakhshari's interpretation. Why? Because, simply, he couldn't find any connection between the verse and what comes before it, like verse 175. And this is a blessed book we have sent down, so follow it and be mindful, so that you may receive mercy. The meaning here is that this Quran was revealed and it is full of blessings, so you, people of Mecca, should follow it, act according to it, and obey God so that he may have mercy on you in the hereafter. The source here is Al-Tibian, Al-Jami li Ulam al-Quran by Al-Tusi. Pay attention here. What is he saying? He says, so that you may. So that you may. This is a second person pronoun, meaning he is addressing them directly. Very good. In the previous verse, he was saying so that they may, when addressing the people of Moses, using the third-person pronoun, so that they may. Here, he says, so that you may, that's the difference between the two pronouns. Of course, he says, this book, we have sent it down, we, meaning God, and that's a first-person pronoun, so that you do not say, the book was only sent down to two groups before us, and we were unaware of their study. The reason for the revelation is that the disbelievers of Mecca said, may God curse the Jews and Christians. How could they deny their prophets even though a book was sent to them? By God, if a book had come to us, the people of Mecca, they said, we would have been more rightly guided than the Jews and Christians, meaning we would have believed right away. So the verse was revealed, right? So that was the reason for the revelation. So what does it mean, O people of Mecca? We sent down the Quran to you in your own language, so it would be a proof against you, so that you wouldn't say on the day of judgment that the Torah and the Gospel were revealed to the Jews and Christians in their language, which we don't understand. And so, we didn't study them, and that's why we didn't believe in them. That was the meaning of the verse. What's the source here? It's Zad al-Mazir fi ilm al-Tafsir by Ibn al-Jawzi. All right. The truth is, there are 2 points here. The first question is, it says, so you won't say, the book was only sent down. The book. The book is singular, but here it says, and we were unaware of their study. Here, their study is plural. That's the issue, not its study. So, how many are we really talking about here? I mean, even if you tell me no. Well, actually, we're talking about 2, the Torah and the Gospel. It should have been their study in the dual form. That's the idea too, it's singular, but it's being treated as plural. Honestly, this needs another look, or a new perspective, or a fresh analysis. Yeah, that was one point. The second point, and this is an important one. He tells them that we sent down the book to you in your language, so you wouldn't say on the day of judgment this and that and so on. Well, if they had actually believed in the Torah and the Gospel, the Quran wouldn't have been sent down. Or you might say, if only the book had been sent down to us, we would have been better guided than them. But now a clear proof has come to you from your Lord, and guidance and mercy. So who is more unjust than the one who denies God's signs and turns away from them? We will punish those who turn away from our signs with a terrible torment because of how they used to turn away. The meaning is that God also sent down the Quran so that you wouldn't say on the day of judgment, if only it had been sent down to us as it was to those before us, we would have responded to the book more quickly. Who's the source here? It's Al-Wazifai Tafsir al-Quran by Sheikh Mohammed Syed Tantawi. He says, whoever denies the signs of God. Here it is, it will completely change its color for you, the signs of God. All right, that's really nice. And then he goes back and says, those who turn away from our signs. Okay. Our signs here is a first-person pronoun. Our signs, we, God. The verse before it says, the signs of God, the signs of God. That simply means you're talking about God in the third person. That's the idea, basically. So sometimes God says, whoever denies the signs of God. And other times he says, turn away from our signs. Okay, what if we unify both and make it the signs of God? Whoever denies the signs of God. Those who turn away from the signs of God. There you go, like that, the signs of God. So what's the problem here? I want to understand this. And then, let's flip it to the other side. If we make it, our signs, whoever denies our signs here, and we remove God and stick to one context, so the pronouns are unified. So what's the problem? I want to know. The other thing is, there's also the repetition of turn away twice here. Look, what does it say? It says, we will reward those who turn away from our signs with a terrible punishment for what they used to turn away from. Okay, but if we remove this part completely, absolutely, what's the problem? If the verse ended right here, we will reward those who turn away from our signs with a terrible punishment. What flaw would affect the text in this case? Are they waiting for anything except that the angel should come to them, or your Lord should come, or some of your Lord's signs should come? On the day when some of your Lord's signs come, no soul will benefit from its faith if it had not believed before, or had not earned some good through its faith. Say, wait, for we too are waiting. What does this mean? What does this mean? What are the disbelievers waiting for? The disbelievers of Mecca. The people of Mecca, are they waiting for the angel of death to come and take their souls? Or are they waiting for God's punishment and reckoning on the day of judgment? Or are they waiting for a sign from your Lord, like the sun rising from the west instead of the east? That day is the day of reckoning. On Judgment Day, their faith won't benefit them. All right. Who's the source here? It's Al-Jawahir al-Hizn fi Tafsir al-Quran by Al-Falabi. Here's the question. What's the wisdom behind repeating your Lord 3 times in the verse? I mean, look, it says, are they waiting for anything except that the angel should come to them, or your Lord should come, or some of the signs of your Lord should come? See, that's a second time. There it is. Pay attention to the words. No soul will benefit from its faith. Look, on the day some of the signs of your Lord come, that's the 3rd time. I'm highlighting them all in the same color, so you notice it. It's repeated 3 times. Your Lord, your Lord, your Lord. Why? That was the real question. All right. The second question says, or your Lord comes, does Allah actually come? Because if God comes, that would mean he takes on a form. And notice, God does not come like, and your Lord comes and the angels in ranks upon ranks. Sometimes it says he came, sometimes he comes. I mean, you guys, find us a solution. So, does God actually come? The scholar says, no, it's not God himself who comes. It's his punishment and wrath that come. That's the idea, basically. But right after that, it says, or it's completely clear. Or, here it is. Or, when some of your Lord's signs come, he actually explains it. But aren't punishment, reckoning, and torment all considered signs from your Lord? That's the story, basically. All right. So God does come, because right after that he gives details, saying, or when some of your Lord's signs come. And then he lists your Lord's signs, and they could be anything. By the way, the signs, see what they are? That's the idea. All right, fine. So, what's the next question actually saying? Here it says, the angels come to them. So, why did it say come to them here? Because angels ends with a tide ta and is feminine. All right, my friend, but here too, I think it should also become because signs, the singular is aya, and aya ends with a tide ta and is also feminine. Here, let me write it for you. Aya. See, aya, its singular is aya. So that's the idea, right? That's as far as my knowledge of the language goes, and people who are more knowledgeable might correct me. I'm fine with that. Either some of the signs of your Lord come, or some of the signs of your Lord comes. Honestly, this needs to be reconsidered. All right, fine. Now, I want to ask you a specific question. What does it say here? It says, except that the angels come to them, or your Lord comes, or some of the signs of your Lord come. All right, let's correct it. Okay. On the day when some of the signs of your Lord come here, It's repeating itself again. You see, here it says comes. All right, let's fix it again. Some of the signs of your Lord come just like that. And then it says, some of the signs of your Lord come. The same thing once again. All right, fine. I want to remove this part completely and see what flaw will appear in the text. Try to think outside the sacred zone, you know. Or, some of the signs of your Lord come on a day when no soul will benefit from its faith. Honestly, I don't see a connection here. Like, if we add here, if it had not believed before or earned some good through its faith, say, wait, we too are waiting. Meaning, if it hadn't believed. So that's the idea of the verse. Here, if it hadn't believed before, and that's it, we've removed it. The repeated refrain. What flaw could affect the text in this case? Indeed, those who have divided their religion and become sects, you are not associated with them in anything. Their affair is only with Allah, then He will inform them about what they used to do. The recitation year. It was the Prophet Muhammad himself who recited it. They divided it up like this. They divided, dropping the shada and the fatha. They divided their religion, not farak dinahum. So who was it that recited it this way again? The Prophet Muhammad. Who was it that reported this from him? The one who reported this from him was Abu Huraira himself. So who else recited it like the Prophet Muhammad? Farako, not Farak. The one who recited it this way was Ali ibn Abi Talib, who they call the city of knowledge. Honestly, I don't know what knowledge exactly, you know, but let's just call it the city of jurisprudence. If you like, no problem. Just for the sake of argument. Very well. Ali ibn Abi Talib, who was the closest person to the Prophet, he used to recite it as faraku, meaning they left and abandoned their religion. All right, that's great. All right. Who else used to recite it that way? Hamza. Who else? Al-Kisai. The four, believer, including the one upon whom the message was revealed. They all used to recite it as faraku, not farak, because religions themselves do not split apart. A person may leave his religion. He may abandon his faith. He may leave the community. That makes perfect sense to me. You get what I mean. So, where's the mistake then? Where exactly is the error? Who was the one who wrote it? It was written as farak, not faraku. And from here, from this very point, I took the title. The truth is, the verse was written incorrectly, even if it was the Prophet himself, and I'll tell you the source in a moment. And this is a well-established source in Islamic tradition. And keep in mind, if Abu Huraira is quoting the Prophet himself, not, not someone else, not Abdullah ibn Mas'udi or anyone else. The Prophet used to recite it as Farako, not Farak his religion, you see? So, honestly, that was a very important point that really needs to be looked into by researchers. All right, so what does the verse actually mean? The meaning of the verse is that those who abandoned their religion and left it. Some people say it refers to the Jews and Christians, others say no, it means the disbelievers, and some say no, it's about the people of heresies and doubts, so may God help you. Pick one of these three groups, those who betrayed their religion and left it. These were sects and factions. You, Muhammad, should disassociate yourself from all of them and leave their matter to God. What will He hold them accountable for? For abandoning or leaving their religion on the day of judgment. You have nothing to do with them, disown them. So, what's the source here? The source here is Al-Qurtubi's Al-Jami li Akam al-Quran. That is, Al-Qurtubi said that Abu Huraira said that the Prophet used to speak. He used to recite this verse as faraku, they departed, not farak, they divided. Heh? So, whose reading do we follow, the Prophet's or the current version found in the Quran? Whoever brings a good deed will have 10 times as much, and whoever brings an evil deed will only be repaid with its like, and they will not be wronged. The meaning is that whoever obeys God and does good, their reward is multiplied up to 700 times. Meaning, if you do a good deed, you might get, what, 700 in return. Your reward is multiplied 700 times, and whoever does a bad deed, God only punishes them for that one sin. How much is that? Meaning, God neither decreases the reward nor increases the punishment. That's the story, and this is from God's mercy. The source here is Lubab Auto Faimani Al-Tanzil. According to Al-Khazin, say, indeed, my Lord has guided me to a straight path, an upright religion. The faith of Abraham inclining toward truth, and he was not among the polytheists. The meaning, say, O Muhammad, to the polytheists, my Lord has guided me to the straight path. What is the straight path? It is the faith of Abraham, peace be upon him. The source here is the Tafsir al-Hidayah ila Bulyu al-Nihaya by Maki ibn Abi Talib. Notice here the words say, here it is a command from God to the Prophet to speak. If this say were not present, this would mean directly that the words are from the Prophet himself, not from God. Say, indeed, my prayer, my rites of sacrifice, my living and my dying are for Allah, Lord of the worlds. The meaning, say, O Muhammad, I perform the rituals of my religion with sincerity, just as my Lord has commanded me. Why? Because I obey Allah, who has no partner. And with this monotheism, I have been commanded from the source, Mufati al-Gaib by al-Razi as well. Here, say is a command from God to the Prophet to say such and such, he has no partner. And with that I have been commanded, and I am the first of the Muslims. The meaning, say, O Muhammad, again here, say is omitted. Say, O Muhammad, I have been commanded to be the first to submit to God's will and decree. The source here is also Mufati al-Gaib by al-Razi. Why is that? Because here, it simply commands from God to the Prophet to say. So, in reality, verses 162 and 163, the source is the same, which is al-Razi. Say, shall I seek a Lord other than God, while he is the Lord of everything? And every soul earns only for itself, and no bearer of burden shall bear the burden of another. Then to your Lord is your return, and he will inform you about that over which you used to differ. The meaning, say, O Muhammad here, say, shall I seek a Lord other than God? This part was a response. This part of the verse was responding to the call of the people of Mecca, or rather the disbelievers of Quraysh, who invited the Prophet to worship their gods. When they invited him to worship their gods, he replied with this statement. He said to them, shall I seek a Lord other than God? When they told him, come worship our gods. All right, fine, I'll tell you the source right now. As for the part about no bearer of burdens will bear the burden of another, that was actually a response to verse 12 of Al-Ankabut, where they say, follow our way and we will bear your sins. So it was also an invitation from them to the believers, saying, follow our way and we'll carry your burden. So here he replied to them and said, no bearer of burdens will bear the burden of another. That's the idea. So verse 164 of Al-Anaam is actually responding to verse 12 of Surah Al-Ankabut. Actually, I have a question for the source that I'll mention to you in a moment. Who told you, or what's your evidence, that Al-Anaam 164 is responding to Al-Ankabut 12? That was really my question. Here's the source. It's Anwar al-Tanzil wa Asrar al-Tawil by al-Badawi. He is the one who made you successors on the earth and raised some of you above others in degrees to test you in what he has given you. Indeed, your Lord is swift in punishment, and indeed, he is forgiving, merciful. The meaning is that God is the one who made you inhabitants of the earth after he destroyed previous nations, and he favored some of you over others in wealth and provision, so that he may test the rich with their wealth, and test the poor with poverty, need, and deprivation. And that's why he is swift in punishment for those who do not show gratitude for his blessings, and he is forgiving, merciful to those who repent and return. This is from the source Bar al-Ulum by al-Samarkandi. The real question here now is, you're telling me, indeed, your Lord is swift in punishment, and indeed, he is forgiving, merciful. So what's the connection between this and the verse? Honestly, I want to understand. Swift in punishment for whom, and forgiving, merciful to whom? It's not like anyone else committed this here. God is the one acting. He is the one who made you successors on earth, and he is the one who raised some of you above others in degrees to test you in what he has given you. So he is the one who did everything. He is the doer, not humans, whether they are disbelievers or not. So honestly, I don't understand what this last part has to do with the verse in the first place. That's one point. The second point, really, is who are the previous nations? Here it says he made you successors on earth, and the scholar says that he made you successors on earth after destroying those who came before. Who are the previous nations that God destroyed? That was the real question. Okay, here it says, your Lord, right? Indeed, your Lord. Sorry, your Lord, that's your Lord. This cough means you're addressing someone. That's a second person pronoun. But all the other pronouns are third person, as if someone is talking about God. That's one. Okay, the one who made, that's two. He made right, very good. Successors on earth, and he raised also very good. He raised, again, excellent. Some of you above others to test you. That's also a third person pronoun. So, who is the one speaking about God in all of this? As for he gave you means he gave it to you. All of this, in fact, was that your Lord is swift in punishment, and that he is the one who takes you. So all of these are third person pronouns, most forgiving, most merciful. So, he only used a first person pronoun once. No, wait, a pronoun, a second person pronoun. I'm sorry. And the rest of the pronouns are all third person pronouns, actually. And then the last point here, he says to me, to test you, to test you. I mean, honestly, you know what, God? I've said this so many times before. God can't possibly test anyone at all, because he is God, the all-knowing. As long as he already knows in advance what the reaction will be, whether acceptance or rejection. Why would he test, then? He already knows. It's only natural, you know. So there's no reason for him to test anyone. You, as a human, you test kids at school or university because you don't know who studied and who didn't. You don't know the reaction, who put in effort and who didn't. That's the idea. But God already knows the outcome of his test. So why would he test, then? That was the real point. Honestly, I want to tell you that Surah Al-Anaam, it's actually simple. Surah Al-Anaam only talks about livestock in 12 verses, from verse 136 to verse 147, and the other 153 verses have nothing to do with livestock, not even remotely. Thank you so much for your patience.